All right. So I've actually had a pretty productive morning already. Well, actually, day, I guess you'd say in general. I was able to drop off those turtles. I made these two. They're the last of the half motifs that I need for my shawl. So I'm going to be joining these probably tomorrow. Because when I join them, I'm also going to finish up joining the black sections and then start the process of getting the rounds around completed. Let's finish those. Let me find my other bag real quick where I worked on the squares for the baby blanket. 1 second. Actually, no, I don't know why I said that. I can press pause. All right, here we go. So these, I haven't finished weaving them in yet, but I finished 3. So that tells me I can get at least 6 squares. There's 3 others upstairs. I can get 6 squares out of one skein of yarn. And then this is the leftovers. This is approximately, I want to say, I just weighed it, but I was more focused on the weight of this. I think this was 24, 25 grams. Leftovers was 12. So I might have enough between the bowls that I bought to make all the squares that I need. So if I go for 15, I definitely have a lot. I have enough. But if I go for 20, I won't have enough. So I'll probably take a look at the pattern again, see if I want to reorder or redo how many of one color I have. Because the offset of this is going to be a cream. So I'm going to put this to the side, and then I'm going to start working on the inventory for this. Okay, I've actually drug over the entire tote. Put my hook up over here real quick. And so I'm going to try to just keep track of all the ones that I have. See if we can find repurpose this. Give me a pen. All right. I'll write down all the different types of yarn that I have, and then the ones that I have partial of, right? So this counts as a partial, I guess. I just started using it. This one hasn't been used, so that is my olive or green. I'll call it green for the sake of ease. So green. I have that pumpkin, which I'll just call orange, which is going to be partial. I got a gray. And I'll count the partials later. There should only be one of each. Then I have a blue. I have a yellow. I have a red. Those are all of my solid colors. And then I have, let's see, how do I want to call this? For my multi, I have red gray. I have, I'll call this blue yellow, I guess. And then the other one, I'll just call it spotty. Because some of these are discontinued, it doesn't matter to me if I call it under its proper name or not. It's just how I'm going to classify it for now. Anyway, so this is what the blue looks like. The lighting isn't the best, but trust me, this is blue. It's like a very stormy blue. This is what I'm calling the red. Very rustic. Here's the yellow. These are all ones I've already used so far. This is the spotty one. And then this is what I'm calling the yellow blue, only because when I looked at it, I saw the blue and I saw the yellow. So I'm going to move these to the side. And then, of course, this is the red gray. Another one that I just barely started using. Figure out where the start is. There we go. These things they do not lend themselves well initially to center pulls, but eventually, it figures it out. Okay, so I think I'm going to go for the, gosh darn, I don't know what I'm going to go for first. I guess the red gray, because I see a lot in this top layer. So Let me move this gray out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move these around, see if there's any in this little layer. 5, let's see. 6, 7. All right, so that's all from the top layer. Oops. Oh gosh, I got stuck. 8, 9, 10. These things keep moving around right now. It's driving me nuts. I keep moving a ball off to the side. It just covers over what I'm trying to grab. So here's number 10. I think that's it for that one. That is a lot. That is a lot more than I'd anticipated, I will say. Means I have a lot of this variation. Oh, wait, no, is that another one? No, okay. So I have 10 of the red grays plus basically another one. I mean, so I'm going to put this down as 11 because I barely used any to finish off the round, and this was the one that I'd started my chain with. So I'm going to move these off to the side, and I will start on the next one. I have a feeling, though, I'm going to end up using a lot more of the multicolored yarn than the solid yarn. And with that being 10 and me estimating about 4 rows per each ball, that gives me at least 40 rows. Which I think is a pretty fair size. All right. So that's that. Let's go on to the, I guess as best as I'll be able to figure the, I am going to have to look at what I would call this. Winterberry Frost, maybe? Because the one I called Spotty is called Sunrise Serenade. So this one is that blue-yellow Winterberry Frost. I think these are still in production. So I'll try and separate those. So Winterberry 1, 2, 3, 4. Not that one. Not that one. Nope. Maybe these ones. Yeah. This one doesn't have a case, but I'm pretty sure this one's Winterberry Frost. So that makes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, not that one. 10. Nope. And here we have 11. So we have 11 plus a partial. It's pretty nice. So I'll rename this the Winterberry Frost. Or just Winter. So we got about 11.5 because I got that partial. So again, that's 44 rows. So definitely going to need a lot of that. Probably alternate those and then have a solid between it and I'll be golden. We'll see. All right. Next up, I will do the Sunrise Serenade. Got one. This one is very interesting color. Wait, I mean, look at this. So this is why dye lots are so important. This is Sunrise Serenade 962. I'm about to show you another Sunrise Serenade 962, but the dye lot in the one in my hand that I'm looking at over here off camera before I show it is 649950. This one is 659982. So, same colorway. Yeah. That is, just look at that. They're not, it's almost like a completely different ball of yarn. There's so much more solid colors in this than with this sunrise stint. But you know what? It's okay because that's the beauty of this pattern. It doesn't matter, right? It's great. Anyway, so we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that it? Looks like that might be it. Yep, that is it for all of my multicolored ones. So we've got, I'd say 9.5 of the sunrise. Cool. All right. Moving those guys off to the side. In case you're keeping up, that's over 120 rows. All right, moving on. I'm going to start with, I guess, the green. I know I don't have a lot of that one. That one is on here. Oh gosh, no, this isn't green. What? This is called olive. This is called Barnwood Fence. Yeah, I guess there's a different color. Damn. Okay. So the Barnwood Fence. Let me see if we can find more of those. This one's Antique Iron. Such a big color difference. Barnwood Fence. Okay, Barnwood Fence. It's not the blue one. I know that's not the blue one, so I guess I have extra color. Yeah, here's olive. Olive. Okay. I see the difference in color now. All right, well, we'll take out Barnwood Fence and olive. Olive, Antique Iron. So that's 3, 4 olive, 2 Barnwood Fence. This is barn. Nope, that's gray. Jiminy Christmas. I thought it was good colors. Guess I'm not. Antique Iron. Antique Iron. A lot of blues. Also doesn't help. Some of these are missing their labels. So I kind of have to just figure another Antique Iron. Okay. So 2 random Barnwood fences. Let's call that Barnwood. Barnwood. We got 2. This I'm pretty sure is Antique Iron. Yeah. So 1 partial, and then I'm holding in my hands 5 untouched balls of the gray. So we will call this 5.5. We've got 4 balls of olive, which is the green. Okay. And if you'll bear with me for a second, I'm going to press pause and reorganize stuff real quick. Okay, got that mostly sorted. Had to switch them around. So now I'm going to do the red ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it for those, plus the other one that I have a half of. So 6.5. We'll put these ones up real quick. All right, let's do the orange. 3, 4, 5, and that is it for orange. I got technically that full one over there, but by the time I'm done with that, I'm gonna have half. So I'll call it 5.5 orange. Put these ones up. Okay. Here's blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. plus the other halfway over there. So we'll say 6.5, 6.5. And then this is our yellow. So we have basically 1.5 a yellow. All right. I'm going to press pause again and put this up. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't know why I pressed play, because I actually need to pause it again. 1 second. Okay, so I have 32 of the multicolored yarn, and I have 31.5 of all the other colors. So that's good, and that tells me I've got well over 240 rows left that I can make with this yarn. It also tells me that it's pretty right on par with rotating out the colors. 2 rows solid, 2 rows multi. I just need to add the multi more. So I'm going to have the multi on a particular rotating pattern. With the solid ones, I'm going to have to sort it out. I'm obviously going to have more blue, red, orange, gray, a little bit of green than I am obviously of the yellow and the barnwood. So I've already used one section of yellow. I'm going to intersperse that more so. Let me see if I can find, I'm going to press pause yet again and see if I can find measuring tape. So I will be right back so we can measure how much these 4 rows that I keep referring to are height-wise. All right, I did it. I found one. All right. So in terms of 4 rows, this is 4 rows. From this blue here to this sort of white here. And then another place where I can measure 4 rows is from here to here. So what I am going to do though instead is I'm going to measure 6 rows. Because the 6 row repeat's a little bit easier to measure because it's this strip right here. 2 inches! Look how perfect that is. 2 inches. See, this is the chain. Oh yeah, 2 inches right there too. Perfect. So every 6 completed rows is 2 inches. Yeah, I should be good. I think I got plenty of yarn. Oh, excuse me. Boy, it's been one of those days. Now, one thing I could do is I'll switch up the pattern where these are standalone colors and the single crochet rows that go here are a different color. So I could do that where the waves are just 1 row and then this border here and this border here are distinct. That would change the approach I've already been doing. So I don't know if it's too late in the process to do something like that, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. Right, so let's go measure how long this little puppy is. So, in fact, I might just measure the peaks. Maybe that's the best way to do it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So what you can't see is there's a little line. This little thing is actually sewing, like a sewing crafting table. This dips down so you can have your fabric come over and it's level with where you're working your sewing thing. But let's move that yarn vomit out of the way. And yeah, let's go see how long this is. So one of these from line to line is approximately 22.5 inches. So I'm going to see how many of these 22.5s I have and then measure the remaining. And in fact, I'm going to be smart about it and mark it with a stitch marker so I don't really have to keep count. Just going to mark the stitch that comes up to that line. There we go. See? Even that out. This is ingenious. Because I know that little tape measure isn't going to be long enough. Yeah, this thing just keeps going. Oh, I don't like that one. Okay. Oh, you can see the edge of it now. All right, looks like we're just shy. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Measure this bottom part from the stitch to the end. We'll call that 21. So we got 21, and then we have 1 section, 2 section, 3 section. Wow. 4 sections of 22.5 inches. Yep. That is a substantial blanket. So we've got 45, 90, and that makes 111. So this will be 111 inches wide. Wow. Well, it's definitely going to have some drape on either side of it, which is nice because I wanted to make sure it was a blanket that would be big enough we wouldn't fight over it. So, and definitely a good stash busting width. So now I get to go on to working on it. So I'm going to press pause and zoom in, or see if I can zoom in, or zoom in. Yeah, because right now I'm zoomed out. So give me a second. Okay, I cannot zoom out once I've started it with the zoom in, and that is fine. I'm going to remove these stitch markers. Put them back where I had them. There we go. And back on to working with this. Just got to find my hook. All right, let me adjust this a little bit. All right, so I last finished on a double. I'm going to do a half, a single, a half, a double, and then this is the 3 treble crochet together. Then the repeat begins again, where we do a double, a half, a single, a half, and a double. Whoops. Double, half, and single. And it's going to go like this for a while. This is obviously a very time-intensive row. So I'm pretty sure if I stop this and I go do something else, I can't just tack back onto this video. And I'm not such a video editing prowess type person that I could easily splice together videos. So I'm just going to end the video here for now. And maybe in my next vlog, I will update on how far this went. But I know this is going to be exceedingly boring, and I don't really want to chat right now. I'd rather listen to an audiobook I've been working through. So, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have a good week coming up. Bye.